This is the 4Runner exhaust dump video. I built this a while ago and I had not gotten around to installing it until recently. It's really cool. I've never heard of anybody else doing this before. It's just putting an exhaust cutout on a 4th gen V8 4Runner. I didn't really know how it would sound. The install was pretty easy. Here's some pictures. Here's a picture of the cutout. It's right upstream of the muffler, and there's a long straight section on 4Runners that makes it really easy to put an exhaust cutout. And the physical installation of this probably took 30 minutes. It was not difficult at all. But the harder thing was doing the electrical side, and I'll get into that in a second. The good thing about this is, like I said, it's upstream of the muffler, and then it's also downstream of all the emissions control devices, such as the catalytic converters. So this is still emissions compliant. So you could really put this on a stock 4Runner, and it would probably sound really cool from my experiences working on some of these. To open and close the cutout, I have these switches. They're momentary switches. So you press one to open it, you press the other one to close it, but they're pretty custom. So I had to wire into the factory lighting for this center differential switch next to it. And I'll show you how these switches work in a minute. This is where I bought the cutout. It's from Summit Racing. Depending on what exhaust you have, the diameter might be slightly different than this one. I have a Gibson exhaust on my 4Runner. It comes with this rocker switch, and I modified it and replaced that rocker switch with 2 momentary switches. Here are the switches that I use. They're from CH4x4 Industries. They make really cool switches. They go right into the holes on the dashboard of the 4Runner. You can pick a bunch of different designs. So you can change this little center logo and make it whatever you want, like a skull. They have a lot of cool stuff. So I use momentary ambers, but you could also do on-off switches. I used on-off switches for other things like turning off the traction control. Here's a drawing that I did of the whole setup. It'd be really hard to explain this. There's a lot of wires going everywhere, but it's not that complicated. I just used some relays, and I'm gonna post these relays in the description of this video. Basically, you have 2 switches, and you replace the rocker switch that's on the electric cutout because these look a lot cleaner. But you have to find a power source that's on when the car is on, and also on when the lights are on, the headlights are on. So I use that center differential switch. It powers these 2 switches. And then when you press the switches, when there's a load on the actual switch, it illuminates that center logo as well. So the logo will like light up brighter, and you'll see that here in a second. But you also need power to energize these coils. If you use the same power source to energize the coil as you use to power the switches when the headlights are on, you could draw too much amperage through the switch and end up damaging the switch. So you have to find a different power source. So anything that's on when the ignition switch is on is fine. An example of this is a cigarette lighter. So you just want the 12 to 15 volts whenever the ignition is on. There's probably 100 different wires underneath your dashboard that all would be okay for this. It's not going to draw a lot of amps to energize these coils on these relays. It draws basically no amps. All it does is just magnetizes this, and then it closes or opens the relay. So on the downstream side of the relay, you need to use your car's battery for this motor circuit up here. So this one actually draws like 10 amps. So it could get pretty dangerous if you try to use one of these wires inside underneath your dashboard. So this circuit, this is called the contactor side of the relay, is where you want to use and tap into your car's actual battery. And then here's where I modified that circuit, and I cut out that rocker switch and replaced it with these 2 relays here. There's also this dual push prevention. So if you push both of the switches down at the same time, it's not going to fry anything or burn anything out. So because I made this bypass, this little circuit that will prevent it, and it will just close the motor if you push them down both at the same time. All right, getting into the video, I'm just going to show a ton of clips of me driving in a lot of different situations, because often I get asked, what does it sound like when I'm driving? What does it sound like when it's driving by me? What does it sound like when I'm doing this, that? So this clip is like me redlining my car 200 times. I hope you enjoy it. This is what the switches look like when you press them. That center logo illuminates. and the car takes on definitely a different tone when you press the bypass. You can hear it like rumbling. It's pretty sweet. You know when it's bypassed. What it sounds like normally.
It's Prius is gonna turn in front of us.
Yeah. This is not bypassed. Do it. I think it's just maxed out. Yes. It's higher.
Nice.
Right now it's not bypassed, I think. So rev it once. I don't know, try the button, see what it does. Yeah, that's not bypassed.
This is bypassed.
Oh, wait.
Or not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Sounds like a Prius.
You bypassed it now? Yeah. Hold on. Sleeping in his house. Before he got kicked out of his house.
The worst day ever to be sleeping in your car here.
Hello? Oh, tunnel.
Yes.
Oh my god. We need more of those.
Integra?
Get next to cars with like their windows open and just. Whatever they'll give us a thumbs up.
That's only one way to find out.
Everyone's gonna hate an Enigma engine. Well, you don't need to have it open all the time.
Yeah, true.
Is anybody outside?
Oh yeah.
That guy's
Not bypassed.
This is where it's idling without the bypass. And this is bypass.
If I started normally.
And with the bypass.
Doom pit.